Hello everybody, it's Daniel here, bringing you a Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary once again. And this is one I've been promising for a long while. It's a follow-up to the family business video I made, good god, about a year back now. It's hard to believe it's been that long. But I've been wanting to follow that up because since making that video I have said numerous times I've actually been using the family business quite a bit more and actually found it genuinely useful. And this is a gameplay where I actually kind of get to demonstrate that, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I'm actually using a strategy with this loadout, and it's a bit of an interesting one because it's not from Team Fortress 2. This idea occurred to me from just remembering bygone World of Warcraft days. I played a hunter in WoW, and one of the ways that you started most combats is you sent your pet in to engage the monster you're going to attack, and from that hold aggro. By holding aggro, that means the monster would not attack you and instead go for your pet, who you can then heal and support. And when I was thinking about Team Fortress 2 in relation to this, the heavy is almost like a hunter's pet, because you're kind of running about the battlefield, you're trying to soak up damage and protect the bulk of your team more than anything. And so the family business in this sense is just fantastic because it's a nice little spammy shot that's just going to do a bit of extra damage, and more than anything, this takes away attention from the enemy team, so they're going to actually be shooting you because you're just kind of annoying as you're hopping about the battlefield. So because of this is sort of a distraction heavy loadout, but I actually like to think of it as more as this is like a tanking heavy loadout. And you rely on support from your team to cover your weakness here, the main one being that you're taking quite a bit of damage and you're going to need to replenish your health quite easily. So this works best if you had a couple of engineers and maybe a medic to assist you. But you essentially just jump about the battlefield, grab as much attention as you can using things like the shotgun, and then switch into your minigun when you have an opportunity, when your team pushes forward. And yeah, you can actually cause an awful lot of damage with this. It's surprisingly effective, and this is what I've been really trying to demonstrate with family business, I think, all this time. And I've never really been sure how to express it, but tanking heavy, this actually works, and it's kind of fantastic because you just grab attention and your team will do the most of the damage. And that's exactly how it kind of functions in World of Warcraft. The tank would be the guy who just essentially takes the boss's hits in the face and doesn't die. Heavy is ideal for this role because you have so much health. And it holds up here, so when you have the support of your team, it just works. Like, for example, right there, that was probably one of my favourite moments of this. But that heavy kind of just ran in, he saw me, went for me, and completely ignored the sentry that started shooting at him, and that killed him, and that stopped the push, well, potential push that was going there. So that was absolutely fantastic. All I did essentially there was run across the track with a shotgun. I wasn't in any situation where I could actually kill that heavy, but he died anyway, because I was just being a distraction, and it's kind of fantastic like that. And, of course, you do have to address, is using this family business more viable over something like the sandwich? And with this kind of playstyle, yes, I do think it is, because you don't really have a chance to kind of drop down your sandwich and heal yourself up. Now, it's very much appreciated for your teammates to actually just have that. Like, a medic always appreciates a sandwich because it's an instant health pack for him. But with this kind of playstyle, because you're jumping about and you're just trying to grab as much attention as you possibly can and relying on your team, you don't need to worry about having the sandwich like that, because you're going to be running back to the health packs that you can when you can. You're going to be relying on dispenses from your team. You're going to have your medic there as often as you can get him. So you really actually don't need a sandwich, and it's kind of a wasted slot for your loadout in this sense. And that means, like, of course, you should actually have the family business because it'll work well. Now, of course, you don't get a lot of damage with family business, and the main problem with the family business users is that you just kind of use it entirely over the regular minigun. That's not how you're supposed to play this. You use it as a distracting weapon just to gather their attention, make the other team think that, oh my god, this guy is so annoying, we've got to just deal with him before he chips us all away and the rest of the team will finish us off. And that's how this functions, and I really think it's more interesting to play than just regular old heavy, because most of the time your role as heavy is just a sponge that sits there and acts as a sentry. You might as well be a sentry. That's going to be the latest minigun that Valve's going to add. It's just a minigun with rockets on it, and if an engineer whacks you with his wrench, that'll heal the heavy. That's going to happen, I'm telling you. But that's what it feels like, really, most of the time you play as heavy. This, you're much more active. Now, you rely on your team a lot more, but again, it's Team Fortress 2. KD is absolutely meaningless in this game, unless you die 27 times, in which case you might want to do something about that. More than anything with this loadout, it's incredibly team dependent. You do have to have a right composition to actually be able to use it. It works better on defense than offense, just from experience, because you're going to have a lot more space that you can kind of retreat to. You're not going to have to worry about just going like miles back to the nearest health pack, and you have an engineer most of the time on hand. And for pugs in general as well, it'll be quite difficult because of that, because you do really need that right composition. But if you do have it, if you have the engineers and you have the medic and you have enough damaging classes on your team, then this just works wonders and it's really fun to play. Of course, you will find that there's a lot of scenarios where you can't execute this playstyle, but that's with any sort of strategy that you're going for. It just doesn't work in Team Fortress 2 all the time. Particularly placing a sentry like that. I wasn't sure what that guy was planning, but it really didn't work. And I really didn't know what those medics were doing back there as well. I was wondering where they disappeared to. Apparently they were off dealing with a scout, like off in the wilderness, which doesn't really make much sense. Like, you don't send a medic to deal with scouts, dear God. So that was kind of strange. But I really am a fan of this loadout. It's a lot of fun to use. I like the jumping about kind of playstyle. It's very active. And of course there will be a couple of scenarios like this one here where you essentially turn into regular old heavy, where you point and shoot really. But that's okay, because at the end of the day you're still a heavy, you still kind of need to do that, and you're great at doing that. Like, I just took out like half the team there and stopped their push, and we won because of that, so that was kind of fantastic. And I still have to use my playstyle with that as well, so it was a really fun game. And that's going to be it for this commentary. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That's the family business demonstrated. It works. There's proof now. And I'll see you with a new video soon. Goodbye and thank you so much for watching.